Elon Musk's commercial spaceflight company, SpaceX, could potentially sell insider shares in a deal that would push the space exploration giant's valuation to around $400 billion. The potential deal would mark the biggest valuation of a privately held company in U.S. history. It would surpass SpaceX's previous record of $350 billion. The valuation is largely based on SpaceX's LEO, or Low Earth Orbit satellite internet provider Starlink, which accounts for over half the company's revenue, the report said. SpaceX's advances in rocket technology with its Starship rocket program are also a driving factor for the valuation. The fundraising strategy involves the company selling a small number of new shares to investors, with SpaceX then selling insider shares at a price determined by the initial round, the report said. The news comes as tensions continue to rise between Musk and President Donald Trump over the latter's tax bill, which Musk says would raise the debt deficit to $5 trillion. The billionaire also announced he would establish a political party dubbed the America Party as a third option in the U.S. two-party system. Musk's plans were heavily criticized by Trump. Meanwhile, SpaceX regularly collaborates with NASA, most recently on the X-4 mission to the ISS. In a bold projection that paints a picture of tomorrow's workforce, Chinese tech giant Alibaba anticipates that AI-powered digital colleagues will be an everyday reality within the next 5 years. This isn't just a futuristic fantasy. It's a strategic vision fueled by a burgeoning ecosystem of developers crafting sophisticated AI agents to cater to both consumer and business demands. These digital colleagues, essentially virtual employees powered by AI software, are set to revolutionize how we work by taking on the repetitive, routine tasks traditionally handled by humans. This shift, according to Alibaba, will free up human employees to concentrate on more strategic, creative, and high-value responsibilities. Huang Fei, vice president of Alibaba Cloud and head of its Tongyi Natural Language Processing Lab, told the SCMP that agentic AI systems that autonomously carry out tasks and achieve goals on behalf of users are quickly gaining momentum across the industry. This vision aligns with Alibaba's broader strategy to become a central player in AI infrastructure and foundational models. The company's Qwen series of open-source large language models has gained strong adoption, and Alibaba has committed over $53 billion toward AI infrastructure over the next 3 years. Huang emphasized Hong Kong's potential as a hub for AI development, citing its strong legal system, government support, leading universities, access to capital, and close connection to mainland China. He said the city provides financial backing, talent, and foundational support for the AI industry. He also pointed to Hong Kong's first AI supercomputing center, launched in December and run by the government-backed Cyberport Management Company. Huang outlined 5 stages in AI evolution. The first involved chatbots capable of responding to human language. The second, called the Reasoner, included AI that could tackle math and code. The third, the agent stage, marks a shift towards systems that understand user goals and use tools to perform complex tasks. Senator Chuck Schumer has slammed U.S. President Donald Trump's pick for the FAA administrator role, Brian Bedford, over the 1,500-hour rule. The rule stipulates that all pilots must undergo 1,500 hours of training to qualify for a commercial flight license. The senator took to social media platform X to share his criticism of Bedford's nomination for the role on Tuesday. For years, I have worked with the families of Flight 3,407 years to establish and protect the 1,500-hour rule after they all lost loved ones in the tragic plane crash that occurred on a winter's night in western New York, Schumer said. Schumer added that the 1,500-hour training was required to prevent another crash and that it's the gold standard of aircraft pilot training. With everything that's happened this year, Americans don't want pilots with less training, Schumer said. He slammed the Republicans for advancing Bedford's nomination. He will weaken safety standards and prioritize profits over passenger safety, Schumer said. Schumer's criticism coincides with what is a turbulent time for the U.S. aviation industry, with January's fatal air crash near the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport resulting in over 64 lives lost. Aging equipment, as well as staffing woes, have plagued the sector, with Bedford reaffirming the need for a significant investment to modernize the air traffic systems. American aircraft manufacturer Boeing has also been under fire for safety and quality issues following a fatal incident when a Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed moments after takeoff in Ahmedabad, in India's Gujarat state. The crash resulted in 241 lives lost. Amazon.com founder and executive chairman Jeff Bezos has continued his selling spree in the company, offloading a fresh tranche of $666 million this week. According to a Form 4 filing submitted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday, Bezos disposed of roughly 2.97 million shares in the e-commerce giant. He did this across two transactions dated July 3rd and July 7th at average prices of $223.73 and $223.92 per share, respectively. The transactions were executed under a pre-arranged Rule 10b5-1 trading plan adopted in March 2025, which is essentially designed to allow corporate insiders to sell shares at predetermined times and volumes without raising concerns of insider trading. Following the transaction, Bezos still holds over 902 million shares in Amazon, or just under 10% of its total outstanding shares, worth $197 billion at current market prices. This comes just weeks after Bezos tied the knot with longtime partner Lauren Sanchez in a star-studded $50 million wedding in Venice 2 weeks ago. Over a week ago, Bezos sold another tranche of the company's shares, worth $737 million, as part of the same pre-arranged trading plan. According to a 10Q filing made in May, Bezos plans to sell shares worth $5 billion in the company through May of 2026. Bezos's net worth currently stands at $240 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, with his holdings in Amazon making up a significant chunk of it. The rest comes from his ownership of Blue Origin, which has been marked on a cost of investment basis. President Donald Trump fired back at Democrats on Wednesday over their inflation messaging, declaring on X that he brought down costs more than any president in recorded history, and calling Democratic claims a total lie. Trump posted, "I brought down costs more than any president in recorded history." The crooked Democrats are using the opposite narrative, even though they know it is a total lie. Remember this when you hear their phony sound bites. Mega! The president's remarks come as inflation pressures mount across multiple fronts. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index rose 2.3% year-over-year in May, while core PCE accelerated to 2.7%, exceeding Federal Reserve targets and marking the first uptick after a 2-month slowdown. Economic data shows personal income fell 0.4% month-over-month in May, the first decline since September 2021, while consumer spending contracted 0.1%. Apollo chief economist Torsten Sluck warns that a 10% dollar depreciation could boost inflation by 0.3 percentage points, with the US dollar index already down 10.29% year-to-date. Trump's tariff policies face scrutiny as potential inflation drivers. However, Amazon.com CEO Andy Jassy told CNBC the company hasn't seen prices appreciably go up, despite widespread tariff implementation. Fundstrat's Tom Lee highlighted Amazon as a critical early inflation indicator, noting the retail giant's massive import volume positions it to see inflation early, making the absence of inflation equals positive for broader economic conditions. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell testified to Congress that tariff increases are likely to push up prices and weigh on economic activity, though effects could be short-lived or more persistent depending on the implementation scale.